What is going on, everybody? We're here. We're live. It's Friday, finally, the last daily of the week. What did you just pull that up?
I did. Nothing makes me happier than to start the day with positive statements from our chat. Keep them coming, chat.
HIV positive statements right there. What's up, Jay?
I love it. Hey, what's good, man? Hey, we might have potentially missed a disaster of getting my windshield fixed, because you're not going to believe this, Ryan. I'm not going to believe it. So they gave me the 8 a.m. to 4 o'clock window. I started my live stream at 8 a.m. and I said, hey, man, I don't know when they called the first minute. No lie. They're like, hey, we're 10 minutes out. So I told my chat, I was like, I got to go down and I've got to give them the key. It's all good. I leave, come back up. They're like, hey, we have a problem. I have to go back down 15 minutes in. And they're trying to explain to me how they unsealed the windshield and brought the wrong freaking windshield to change it. And I was like, well, what are you going to do? They're like, well, we've got to call this company and we've got to go get this thing taken out. And we're going to try to be back by 1 o'clock. And I'm like, can I drive the car? And they're like, no, you can't drive the car. We're going to try to get this. What do you mean you're going to try to get this done today? You got to get it done today.
So, you just drive it around.
We
can't
also
control your life.
We also live in Florida where it rains every day now. This is the time of year. So I'm sitting here like, they're supposed to call me back by noon to tell me when they're coming. So I might get a phone call in the middle of the show, but at least I probably won't be getting up and leaving. When I left the chat, my show, thank God they were very patient with me. But I put this thing. Oh, you can't even see it because the green screen. I put this thing in the seat. For everyone to see while I was gone. Most people are still wondering why I still have this thing in my possession.
You could make a guess. Yeah.
It's a gift.
It's those lips, I think, is why Jay keeps it.
This is packing some boobies, man. You know, what are you going to do? So, yeah. So I was like, it's funny because I told my morning show, I was like, you know what's going to happen? This is what's going to happen. I'm not going to hear from them. I'm going to hear from them at 11 o'clock Eastern when daily starts. I'm going to be like, I'll be right back. And then they're going to take forever trying to explain something. And I have to leave Ryan here on his own. And it's like, and then he's going to get freaking pissed. And it's like, I'm going to come back. And as soon as I sit down, they're going to be like, we got a problem. And I got to go back downstairs again, and talk to the people or whatever. But thankfully, my prediction came true, but it happened earlier today.
Oh, there you go. I got to get my windshield fixed. Mine's actually been cracked for over a year and a half at this point. Yeah,
you got a nice one, man. It's making a nice map, you know?
dude, it's bad. I don't like, there's very few cracked windshields I've ever seen that are as bad as mine for like the length of time I've had it, right?
It's pretty bad.
It started off like passenger side over there, rock kicked up on the highway and hit it. The problem was it was about 2 or 3 weeks after I had just got it replaced for basically the same fucking thing. And here in Florida, you do get, I think insurance policies in Florida, most of them cover one windshield replacement for something like that a year.
A year, yeah.
And because I had just done it, it's like, well, I'm either paying for it, I'm waiting a fucking year. So I'm like, I'm gonna wait this shit out. That's fine. And it, slowly started spreading that way and then into that corner and then across. And I mean, it is to the point where it's past my eye line now. So it goes all the way from one windshield up to the other, or one side, up to the other side, and all the way across past my eye line. So it is almost at the complete other side. And I've been driving it like that for a long ass time.
So if you're telling me like you're one pebble away from an entire just maybe.
Who knows? It's not like it leaks or anything. It's still fine. One thing is though, if they notice it when I go, when you with an annual pass to Universal Studios, one of the perks is free valet parking there. So you're not walk a million miles, which is really nice. And so I take advantage of that when I go to Universal. If they notice that crack, they won't park my thing.
Really?
Yeah, because they're like, look, if we see like clear damage like that on something, we're not going to park it because we don't want to be held responsible for you coming back and say, oh, look what they did to my car type of thing. And you know what I mean? So, sometimes, I've got to make sure I go at night, or I got to pull up on one side of them so they couldn't see how bad it really was. Most people just let it go, but every once in a while you get a stickler for the rules.
Yeah. They got the young people working at the valet. They don't care.
As long as you give them a good tip,
For the most part, they're just like, whatever. So that is probably the best theme park perk you could get, though. It's like the free valet. It works
no
for
doubt,
Epic Universe too. So,
and look, the prime parking is fine as well. If valet's full, you go to prime, and it's not that far. It's not like you're at some of these other crazy things, and a lot of moving sidewalks in between. But still, the convenience of taking your car, giving it to them, walking through a private metal detector, going up an escalator, and then you're right at City Walk.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's nice. It's nice. There's one really fucking annoying person about every other time I go.
He's really loud.
Dude, there is some really annoying guy who works the security that immediately ruins my day. Because of the way he talks and the way he fucking screams everything.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
Everything in one bin. One bin.
Yeah, exactly. And like I'll put like everything. I'll take my sunglasses off and put them off and be like, you can keep your sunglasses on. You can keep your sunglasses on. Grab your sunglasses. I'm like, I'm just going to put everything in there. And it takes like all my willpower to remain calm-ish whenever I see that person. No, he's not black. He's just an old white guy.
Yeah. I was there one time. I remember hearing Ryan very angry when we went through security.
Probably as soon as I saw him or heard him, I said, oh, fuck, I hate this guy. Like, that was probably what happened, and we get through. But then you're in. And everything's good. Alex McCarthy, RK3PO, Friday, Meta PC code RK Outpost, or Drunk 3PO. Shout out Alex. Check out the link in the description for Meta PCs.
He didn't say S tier,
You probably fucking shamed him. He probably didn't think you're part of the S tier team anymore.
Sorry, Alex.
You shitting all over him.
My bad.
Young Staub for 2. Pedro Pascal makes Jeremy and Beardo look alpha. Has that tendency. Pretty good. Ryan Charlton. Good morning, Ryan and Jay.
Good morning.
Good morning, Ryan. Volt 95 for 199. Jay, in Iraq, the locals stripped the wells for parts.
Really?
Look, that happens all the time in these dog shit fucking countries
It's
where we
true.
send a bunch of aid to, or we send people to build this, or like I'm sure you have some experience in Haiti, Jay, where
100%.
there'll be a bunch of people that fund, they go to do something, they go to build something, they go to plant a bunch of trees, a bunch of fruit trees so that people have more stuff to eat or trade or whatever. And ultimately a bunch of motherfuckers, they need firewood. So they come and they cut down these trees that could have provided them like a ton of good things over time. They cut the tree down, they fucking burn it, and all of a sudden they don't have any trees anymore.
100% happens all the time.
Yeah, that's why it's to me. Look, it just ain't worth it. Just ain't worth
happens all the time.
Sandstorm, happy Friday. Have a wonderful weekend, everyone. Jay's a cutie 199.
Hey, made me blush in front of Ryan.
Clyde dashing for 2. Remove glass and get some 1900s driving goggles.
That would be awesome, but I need my air conditioning here in Florida. It's hot.
I wonder how much, if you just, we could run an experiment on that, I'm sure. If you just removed the fucking windshield from your car, how would that affect your gas mileage? You know what I mean? Like, because it would provide a completely different like wind resistance and everything. But I would be too hot, dude. I can't stand that.
Especially on the highway. It'd probably be all shaky.
In the fucking rain and everything. Warbrer, you two are the Dan and Forrest of G&G.
Is that a compliment? Who is Dan and Forrest? Help me out here. I'm a little slow.
My guess is Lieutenant Dan and Forrest Gump.
Oh,
but that is just a guess. Could be anything. Could be anything. But I don't know. I'm not sure.
You're probably right.
We are live over on Rumble. We're also live over on Locals. Thank you guys for being here. Jay, you had something, some Transformers news, right?
Oh yeah, like I was just mentioning it today. Let's see. Let me pull this up. As you know, I'm enjoying the Energon Universe comic book series by Skybound. I freaking love that. That is my favorite. That whole universe, the G.I. Joes and stuff, and we're doing it all on the Drunk 3PO channel now. I've given up on talking about new releases. I'm just talking comic books. But just crazy, like this was announced. Now, again, the source is, of course, Puck News, Ryan's favorite publication. I'm being very sarcastic here. It says there's reportedly...
Well, I actually don't mind Puck News. That's Matthew Bellani, right? Who's a former editor of the Hollywood Reporter. Yeah. In my experience, he's a little more reputable than some other ones. I think he's the one that recently came out with the, hey guys, Kathleen Kennedy within the next year is going to step down from a president thing, that made all the mainstream publications lose their mind to the point where Kathleen Kennedy did an interview confirming that what he said was true, but trying to spin it as, no, this isn't true. Yeah.
It's they just dropped like crazy Transformer projects coming. There reportedly 5 Transformers projects in development. Josh Cooley is set to direct a live action film. Have no idea what that's about. Transformers and G.I. Joe crossover. That was teased at the end of Beast Wars. I believe that's the last Transformers live action film that we got. And Michael Bay's potential next live action film. I don't know if you like to me, the movies just kind of went crazy after like the second one. Like I liked the first one. I didn't mind the second one. Once we got into the third one and the fourth one, and once Marky Mark entered the picture, I was kind of lost at what was going on in the Transformers film. That's just me. I'm just saying. And then they said 2 additional projects are in the early stages. Man, let me tell you something. If they make the Transformers Skybound Energon Universe movie, if they like take that storyline, that would be incredible. It would be one. If they did it, of course, we say this. If they follow the story, It would be incredible if they did that. They probably won't because Michael Bay is just like massive action stuff going everywhere. I don't know what Josh Cooley's film was going to be about, but apparently also in the article they said that they've got to keep making films in order for Paramount to hold the license to Transformers. So that's probably why there was like a big announcement of what's coming on. And no Transformers 1 animation sequel. That was, and a lot of people actually enjoyed that. That was kind of like pushed off to the side.
There was a lot of people said that they really liked it, but it didn't do anything numbers wise, right?
No,
Like box office wise, it really did not perform well. So not really a surprise. I feel like it was marketed shitty. All the trailers for that I thought looked like absolute shit.
Yes.
I had no interest in going to see it. But
yes,
people that did see it said it was good. I still haven't watched it. I'm not a big Transformers guy. I, like everybody probably my age and when those original movies were coming out, the first Michael Bay ones, I thought they were fun, you know? I thought they were fun. There's great action, all that stuff. I thought they looked phenomenal. Like the effects looked phenomenal, like for what it was. And still, I haven't watched them in a while. It probably holds up decent, considering how poor we've seen some special effects recently. But even the third one, was it Dark of the Moon? Was that the third one?
No, I think that's when they isn't that,
is that a Marky Mark one?
Marky Mark. Once Marky Mark entered the picture, I was kind of like, now I did. Crazy enough, I did like. I don't know if this was like a reboot or whatever. I did like Bumblebee, and I did like Beast Wars for what it was because I felt like they were going back to some of the G1 Transformer and some of those stories. I didn't love it, but I did kind of like Beast Wars.
Everyone's saying that I'm right. Dark of the Moon is the third one.
You're mostly 99.9% right. So,
bro, is it the third one that like ends in a big fight in Chicago and has Optimus Prime like hitting Megatron with an axe and like pulling out his fucking spine and then standing there with an American flag waving in the background at the end of the movie? That was sick. Okay. The third movie was not as good, but that part, that
was a great.
If that's the scene I can remember in my mind. It was fucking awesome.
That's a great scene. Yeah. That's a great scene.
It's a fucking awesome scene.
So 100%, one of the best endings ever for Transformers film. But yeah, once you got Marky Mark in, it just kind of took a weird turn. They tried to put Galvatron in that and all that. My man Starscream was my favorite Transformer. Got like horrible, like he got killed by the humans in the film. So he was like a nobody. He's a nothing character in these movies. But it makes me wonder, like, if they're just gonna go forward and probably have a different voice for Optimus Prime. Or if they're gonna get Peter Cullen, like he's getting up there, but he could probably still do it. I guess as long as he's still alive. So, are we going to just see a complete? Now, he didn't voice Transformers 1 as Optimus. They brought in new people to do it. I like Transformers 1. It's totally different than what the original Transformers story is, like the origin stories and stuff like that. But for what it's worth, I enjoyed Transformers 1. I didn't see it in the theater, but yeah, so I don't know. A lot of Transformers projects in the work. Again, my thought process, if you go to the Energon universe and just do that story, they will have a smash hit on their hands. That thing is freaking awesome. Mark Wahlberg. Jay doesn't know Mark's last name. Yeah, there you go. I think that's a game changer. I freaking love the comic book series from Skybound. I think they have done an excellent job in finding the true essence of Transformers and the fans that really love it. So the G.I. Joe crossover could be G.I. Joe hasn't had a good
the two with Mark Wahlberg really run together for me. I was willing to like watch that and give it a chance because I enjoy them. They don't have very much meaning to me. It's just a bunch of shit blowing up and whatever. But yeah, I gave the Mark Wahlberg ones a chance. Didn't love them. A lot of them ran together.
Did you like any of the G.I. Joe movies?
I think those are the best representations of what I know to be G.I. Joe ever. G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra is an absolute masterpiece.
Okay.
Make sure Jeremy knows. Everybody has to tell him that those movies are amazing. Channing Tatum, they couldn't have cast a better Duke, honestly. He was perfect. And that's me speaking as a massive G.I. Joe fan. Tobias Nexus for 10 just had a heart attack thanks to my stepdad going out without turning off the alarm. Apparently, the alarm company called them and didn't have a response, so they called me. Keep your phones on, people. Well, I hope everything's okay there, Tobias. Yeah, keep your phones on and answer them unless you don't want to talk to that person. It's straight to voicemail. And my voicemail's full, so you ain't going to get shit. Soundwave Superior. Rumors are Energon Universe cartoon. Soundwave Superior, Starscream inferior.
Yeah, I did see those rumors, but again, it's just rumors that they were going to do an animation adaptation of the comic book series. I really hope they do that. I really hope they do that. So, and also huge shout out to everyone that's checked out the videos on the channel. I appreciate it. We're having a lot of fun over there.
Simple Jeremy for 2 says for Jay.
Oh my gosh. Hey, you guys.
At least it's Jeremy, not you. Vice for 10. As someone who does auto glass, removing your windshield doesn't save much weight, but it does comprise 60% of the strength of your roof. Crazy how often I've seen a windshield save a life. Hope I don't fucking roll over, Vice. Sage Productions. Bay was responsible for things starting to head downhill, but if they bring him back without any creative input, it could be good for the franchise.
You like Michael Bay's movies?
I like them well enough, yeah.
Yeah. I don't have an issue with them.
I think they're fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think that Michael Bay's
just
a fun
crazy
director.
action all the time. It's just like he doesn't he just cuts to the next scene and then it just goes crazy. He did the Bad Boy films, right? I like the Bad Boy movies. I didn't see the last Bad Boys movie though. The very last one. I haven't seen that. Is that on Netflix?
The Bad Boys 4, which was called Bad Boys
like for Life or something.
No, that would make sense. That was 3. Bad Boys 3 was Bad Boys for Life. I liked it though. It was good. Some good family stuff in it. Some good family stuff. But that was not by Michael Bay. That was
Oh, really? The last one wasn't the Michael Bay one. Okay.
No. Bad Boys Ride or Die, that might have been it.
Ride or Die.
Yeah. That's the one with that you had that viral Will Smith video going around of the behind the scenes shots of
oh yes,
like when he was using the camera and like doing face stuff, flipping the camera himself and everything. It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool.
That was a crazy rig, man, that he had. Like that was freaking crazy.
It's true. It was freaking crazy. You know what else is freaking crazy, Jay?
No.
The fact that Marvel Studios is all in on Pedro Pascal.
This guy.
All in on Pedro Pascal. Let's share this if we can for a second. We're less than a month away from the release of Fantastic Four, which is Marvel's last chance of the year to actually have something positive to talk about, whether it be at the box office or just for their reputation. This is their last chance. And it's about more than just this movie in isolation. The Fantastic Four are going to be a massive fixture for the next several upcoming years in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Reed Richards specifically, supposedly, is going to be a huge part of what Marvel does going forward. And of course, he's played by Pedro Pascal. We've seen Marvel go all in when it comes to the marketing for this, for everything. And I don't know about you, but I'm sick and tired of seeing Pedro Pascal anywhere. This is on the cover of Vanity Fair. Everyone wants a piece of Pedro. He certainly is everywhere. I don't know if everyone wants a piece of him. I feel like some people are sick and tired of him, but we do continue to see weird fucking shit like this, by the way. This is for Vanity Fair. You got women's hands on him. You got big black man hands on him here.
What the? Is that? That's not an AI thing? That's real?
This is from Vanity Fair. This is real. You would think it was about to be one of those AI videos where he like starts to turn into
that's what I'm saying. Like,
But
The freak,
no,
that's gay. Sorry. Am I allowed to say that?
it is. There's big black man hands on him over there. But Pedro Pascal has opened up about some of the backlash surrounding his specific character. Fantastic Four. Pedro Pascal opens up on MCU Reed Richards' backlash. And he's talking about how this role, more than anything else, he's got backlash for because people don't feel he's really the proper casting. But as part of his recent Vanity Fair cover story, Pascal revealed it was being cast in the MCU that got him the most strife. I'm more aware of disgruntlement around my casting than anything I've ever done, Pedro said about playing Reed Richards, arriving in theaters next month. Pascal said the regular complaints he hears are as follows. He's too old. He's not right. He needs to shave. And look, you're a big Fantastic Four fan, right, Jay?
For the most part, yeah.
Of all of the castings for it, I do think Pedro's the one that sticks out where it's like, I don't know if I can see him as Reed Richards, and a lot of people feel that way. And in fact, Marvel feels that way. He was the last person that was cast, and it was only after they approached 4 or 5 other people and offered them the role, and they all turned it down. So Pedro Pascal was not even their first choice, let alone the fans' first choice. Yet here we are. What do you think about Marvel going so all in on Pedro Pascal, who certainly has a hardcore, dedicated, little weird, freakish cult fan base?
Yes.
But is that enough to take you to the next level for a mega box office hit?
So I think the reason why Pedro keeps getting all these roles is because he is the easiest person to check all the boxes. He could play, basically, they could look at him and go, he could play a white guy, but he's not white. Check. He's gay, allegedly. Check. So that covers that box. He's not masculine, but he's a safe actor that doesn't really cause any problems. Check. He has all the right politics. Check. He keeps his pronouns in his bio, I guess. Check. He's gone off Twitter now and he just posts on Instagram. There's another one. Check. So it's an easy for them to these Hollywood people that like diversity is our strength and all that stuff. It's like that's the guy that they could get to play a white guy, a Spanish guy, a this guy, a that guy, and he's gay probably. And so now they're saying, look, we're hiring diverse actors. So that's why I think he gets all these roles. Honestly, I feel the same way. I hate to say it about Zendaya. I feel like Zendaya or Rachel Zegler is another one. Like they get those roles because they can play the white character in their minds. They can play but they're not white. They check all the boxes. They got the right politics. They got all that. So it's like, we'll just put them in there. So
I feel like Zendaya causes a lot fewer problems.
Correct.
Than people like Pedro Pascal and Rachel Zegler. Like, let's kind of
true, but
let's kind of be honest about that. Pedro Pascal is constantly running his fucking mouth all the time about social issues when it comes to everything, right? This is a dude who works for HBO works for Warner Brothers with HBO, with a show on HBO, while at the same time slamming constantly the creator of Harry Potter and J.K. Rowling. Correct. This is somebody who's set to star in the next 2 big entries for the Marvel and Star Wars universe for Disney, while he puts Disney on blast and elevates Rachel Zegler for her asinine shit that she was on that destroyed the Snow White movie. Correct. So this is a guy who creates a lot more problems than what I would think someone like Zendaya, significantly more.
100%. What I'm saying is they cast Zendaya to play white roles and others as well, and they say that as like we're checking the diversity box. That's where I think she gets some of her roles from, and that's just my opinion. Could be wrong. But like especially Pedro's other than that, like he's the guy that checks all their boxes for them, where no one will complain about hiring diversity.
Yeah,
you can get away with that.
To me, I just think, man, it's a gamble. When you look at Pedro Pascal's history, look, we've seen him have some big roles, obviously in The Last of Us as Joel, which did very well on streaming, very well for HBO. We saw him not really. As it's not like Pedro Pascal's presence in The Mandalorian is something that took that over the top. But when they launched Disney Plus, they touted it as a success. We've obviously seen how that Mandoverse has gone in miserable fashion. And we did see him very early on in his career for one season of Game of Thrones, where he was really good as Oberyn Martell.
Yeah.
When you look at the box office, you know, you're banking a lot on a guy who hasn't shown that he can really do anything for you. Gladiator 2 was one of his biggest movie roles. He was basically the co-lead in that, and ended up $460 million at the box office, a far cry from the original in Gladiator, and lost a fuck ton of money for them. It was a massive failure in theaters. Other than that, I mean, he had small role in Kingsman, small role in The Great Wall, small role in The Equalizer, right? Then you have to go down here for another like big role in Wonder Woman 1984 as Maxwell Lord. That obviously was a financial disaster. Some things you can talk about, you know, the idea that they released on HBO Max at the same time, whatever. Do I blame Pedro Pascal for that movie being shitty? No. The movie was shitty for a lot of fucking reasons. But it's not like there's some proven track record of Pedro Pascal getting people to show up for movies.
Yeah. No, I agree.
You put all your eggs in this basket. And I just don't know why.
What's crazy though, the days of the Hollywood movie star is over, right? It don't have we not agreed that Tom Cruise is probably the last real movie star left, where it's like a lot, you know, in times past, it was like, oh, so-and-so is going to be in a film. I like him as an actor, so I'll go see the movie. It's just not like that anymore. Like people just don't, maybe for a couple, but honestly, it's just like I don't know. It's just not like that anymore. For me, back at if Arnold Schwarzenegger was in a film to kill a bunch of people, I'm going to see the movie. I didn't even need to see the trailer. I just need to know he was there. You know, Sylvester Stallone, like we got another Rambo coming out. I'm in the theater. You know, I don't even need to see the trailer. I want to go see it. And there were
a lot of that
too.
probably has to do with movie budgets as well, right? Like,
sure.
Because back in the day, if you get, obviously inflation, all these things are a factor, but back in the day, you know, you spend $80 million to do an action movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger and it makes $500 million at the box office. You're like, oh, hell yeah. Right.
Right.
Nowadays spending $250 million for these things to get a $600 million return, $500 million return.
So maybe that's the case. They can get Pedro Pascal cheap. He could check all the boxes, and that's why they keep bringing him along.
And look, he was not Marvel's first choice.
Yeah.
They offered the job to, I think, 4 other people before they offered it to Pedro. He was the last one cast. So maybe he was their budget. Maybe it was their budget option.
Something. If people are like, I don't want to be in a superhero film. I don't want to be in a superhero film.
But now the future of Marvel and Star Wars rests in the feminine, dainty, dick-holding hands of Pedro Pascal.
Hey.
So we'll see. Let's see. Saj Production, we said that. Zeffy says Pedro Pascal, the female Zendaya. Like I said, I think that you can get tired of seeing Zendaya cast in movies. That's fine. I think there's a very big difference in the amount of problems that they fucking cause.
I agree.
Between Zendaya and Pedro. I don't think Zendaya is some like right winger. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying for the most part, it doesn't seem like she's too involved in a lot of these major controversies and calling out these other people, like stuff like that, like Pedro Pascal is.
I think there was a meme going around, like it was like Zendaya and Pedro are being cast into everything, right? Like something like along those lines.
Draconis, iconic Shart viewership would double instantly if her AI was Robert Downey Jr. in Tropic Thunder mode instead. Thoughts? I'm glad that
no thoughts.
I'm even an appearance like that. I'm glad that he's not in it. But that would be funny. The Trillist, Pedro having all the people that boinked him for his roles touching his face is pretty weird.
That's weird.
Lip Lennox for 2. Pedro is a commie psyop at best on a good day. His dad's a freak. 0 for 2. Who wins a hot dog eating contest? Pedro Pascal or Beardo? What do you think, Jay?
I think Pedro's a vegetarian, so maybe if they were vegan. I don't know. I don't even want to watch that. I wouldn't want to watch that either. I like Chestnut, man. You see Chestnut like doing the hot dog eating contest? Isn't that his name?
Joey Chestnut?
Yeah. It used to be that guy from China, right? Wasn't that guy from China or Japan?
He was from
that
Japan, Kobayashi.
Yeah. He would always
Kobayashi.
win. Kobayashi.
Not Kobayashi Maru.
Yeah, I was like, what?
It starts with a K, though. It does.
Hiroshima. Anyway, like
No.
I was like, man, freaking America's got to get this hot dog eating contest back, man. And along comes Chestnut.
It is Kobayashi. Yeah.
Freaking Chestnut brought the gold back to America.
Yeah, then Joey Chestnut just dominated that little fucking queer, little anime bitch ass looking motherfucker, and Joey Chestnut, who just looks like some random dad, just comes in every world record. He wasn't allowed to compete last year.
Something like that. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Because he took it's the Nathan's hot dog eating contest, sponsored by Nathan Hot Dogs, like all this stuff. And he took a sponsorship with I think Impossible Meat, the fake meat company. And because of that, he was not allowed to compete. But I think he'll be back.
Who won it last year? I don't even know. It's every July 4th, right?
Yeah, I believe.
I think it's coming up.
Well, July 4th is coming up, so. Over on Locals, Ninroku for $1 says, here's a cool theory video on YouTube about Optimus' true motives in the Bay movies. Or he says, there's a cool theory video. Okay.
Oh,
I think it elevates the first 3. Also, petition to cast Sydney Sweeney. And then Ninruko for $1 says, Jay is the founding member of High T, precursor to bro science. You're correct. Pascal is gay.
Yeah, that was a little run. I've turned it over to Beardo. It's all good.
Snacks for $1. You think maybe James Gunn is intentionally making his Superman marketing bad to pull a meta, like how Lex is making Superman look bad? So when the audience sees it, they see the true Superman hero.
That would be weird, right?
I don't think it's that deep. I don't think it's that deep necessarily, but I don't know. People are very passionate about that clip we talked about yesterday. Apparently, so was Warner Brothers, because they copyright blocked it immediately after we got done. I did put in a counter and they lifted it pretty quickly. What my guess is, because it's just a fucking trailer, right? The way that the way it works is they have all these, essentially copyright bots that are scrubbing and detecting for anything. And if it detects something that they have a protective copyright over, it will issue whatever. I think that specific part, like that 30 seconds, that 35 seconds or whatever, I think they still had that under a copyright block because they had just released it last night and it wasn't on their official channel. It was on the Jimmy Kimmel show. My guess is they still had all that stuff, like under the label of, hey, this shouldn't be out there yet. Block it if you see it. Because later when I made a video about it and uploaded it, it didn't get blocked.
It didn't get claimed.
Probably once they started to see enough complaints, they came in and
I saw other people complaining that, it was getting blocked as well. So
yeah, I think about 8 or 12 hours later, it feels like nothing got blocked by the time I uploaded it.
Brian, before we continue, I've got some breaking news here.
Okay.
Something you haven't seen. I don't know if it's relevant to this show. Probably not, but I'm going to pull it up anyway. Did you know that Blue's Clues host Steve Burns is launching a podcast for adults called Alive? The podcast.
Hold on. You call him Steve Buns?
Buns. I said Buns. Burns. I immediately corrected myself. Sorry. The podcast is described as a continuation of the beloved kids show that will tackle adulthood and what it means to stay human in a complicated world. Do you think he's like going to shove his face in the camera and be like, hi, I see you there. I know it's been tough. We're going to make it. Hi, how you doing? I see you.
It's wild because this entire idea is probably stemming from that one video that he posted like a year ago where he said what you exactly did. It's been a long time. You've gone through college, you have a family, you have kids, but we're all still here getting through things or whatever.
That's right. Well, apparently it was traumatizing to people that were fans of the show, and he just abruptly got up and left, and nobody knew what happened to him. And then that's why he did that video. But now he probably got a nice big college degree that's useless, and he's going to start a podcast instead to make money. Makes perfect sense. But if he doesn't start the show, we got a podcast. We got a podcast. We got a podcast. I hope you like it too. Huge missed opportunity, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, look, go for it. You know, do your thing. I'm not opposed to anybody starting their own shit. Obviously, well, that's what we're sitting here doing. Nothing. But I would like, just to be honest, I would rather like take a drill and put it through my own eye than listen to a podcast from Blues Clues Steve about staying human in a complicated world. I don't give two fucks. Like, I would rather die and not live than listen to your thing about living. That's how I feel.
I'm kind of curious on like, what he's gonna say about adulthood.
I don't know.
Oh man, maybe he's an ally, and it's gonna be about allies. So
here's the mail; it never fails. When it comes, I wag my tail. I don't remember.
Wow, maybe he's gonna have a cat this time in the pocket.
Oh, here's the mail. It never fails. It makes me want to wag my tail. When it comes, I want to wail. Mail.
Woo!
Right? I remember some Blues Clues from back in the day, bro. That was a long time ago.
I want to feel tackle stuff like bombing of Iran. It's going to be okay, guys. You're scared too?
Wonder how many Blues Clues fans there were working in those facilities. You know? You never know.
Oh man.
But yeah, I have zero fucking interest in that. But no hate to the guy. Go for it.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's been doing. Like, what do you do after you're Steve from Blues Clues? What is your career path after that? Do you randomly show up as some like in one season of Law and Order SVU, in one episode you play some guy who got accused of doing something and gets cleared, and you have like 3 minutes of screen time? I don't know what your career path is after that. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's true. I knew I could count on Ryan for commentary, and he didn't disappoint. I love it.
Patrick's Abased Life. Have you heard of Time Traveler's Paradox yet? Very fun, low budget sci-fi.
I have not.
No. Miss English. Maybe they should have cast Pedro as Ironheart. Instead, probably would have made it better. Couldn't make it much worse.
It's true.
I decided to take a day off of talking about Ironheart on this channel because I think she's been in the thumbnail the last 3 days. So I'm like, well, you know, we'll give her a break. We'll be back next week. We never answered. I think Beardo would win because I think he would take it extremely seriously.
Yeah.
I think he would take it extremely seriously and really want to just choke down every wiener he could so he could get that victory. Where I feel like Pedro would savor it a little more, you know?
Yeah,
he seems like that kind of guy.
He seems like the kind of guy that licks his hot dogs before he eats it. Gross.
Bro, have you seen what was it like 10 years ago where there was that fucking trend on I don't, maybe it was on YouTube at the time, of people just swallowing hot dogs whole and seeing how many you can swallow.
Yeah.
Some of the funniest videos I've seen in my life are of people just straight up swallowing hot dogs.
Yeah.
And to see how many they can get down their throat until they throw up. And when they barf them up, they come up whole. You know what I mean? They just dude shooting wieners out of his mouth. I don't know why those fucking videos were so damn funny, but some of the edits I saw of that shit are hilarious. Just like he starts gagging. I don't like understand. Yeah, he just starts gagging and like 4 come up.
The whole thing's flying.
Yeah. And now we got to look at some now. Swallowing hot dogs. Funny.
If we've seen it, you have to see it too. That's it.
Yeah. Seagull swallows hot dogs. Oh, what the hell? I don't want to see that.
And those seagulls are vicious, man. If you get like ice cream by the beach, especially in Miami, boy, they just go for it.
Bro, I don't want to see a video of somebody. Oh, no, we're not gonna show. We're not gonna show him. Probably shouldn't.
He's found the wrong video.
Well, some of the videos I'm showing are just people like successfully doing it. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see somebody just successfully doing it and sitting there. I want to see you struggling with it and then throwing them up because it's
basically
funny.
Almost dying.
And projectile vomiting hot dogs. That's gonna take too long to find.
look at Treebeard, dude, real quick. I love Ryan's got that Lex Luthor pose in that where he's sitting back with his hands crossed, like thinking about how he wants to kill everybody in the room. That's exactly that pose. Every time you do that pose, I start to get the back sweats. There it is. I get very nervous because I don't know what's coming. Like, I don't know what you're going to say. I don't know what's going to happen. But yeah, there it is.
I mean, that's just me getting to relax a little bit during the stream.
I get it. But I'm still saying.
Most of the stream, I'm sitting up here, like I'm standing up straight. I am significant. I'm on the edge of my seat basically for this because the way my desk is situated, I can't really get it any closer, but I have to stay pretty close to the microphone and like all that stuff. So I'm pretty, I'm pretty up here. I'm right in front of the fucking thing. So I get a chance. Jay's talking about something.
He's like, I can't wait for Jay to die.
Maybe. Where's the dog? The dog, Luther.
Oh, man.
Come back, Jay. Now bro science just rates mid chicks.
You mean like should I start high tea and just bring in somebody else? And live stream the same time as bro science? Oh, man. I would never do that.
Let's see. Grizzly Nightmare for 199. Jay, go make a grilled cheese with actual butter.
That sounds incredibly good. I haven't
had a grilled cheese in probably in 6 months since I had a grilled cheese. Man.
I freaking love grilled cheese. There's a few places that do it really well.
I very rarely will get like a grilled cheese out anywhere. I can count maybe 1 or 2 times I've ever done that. But in terms of at home, I like making grilled cheese.
Yeah.
Usually I do a couple types of cheese and I do bacon in between.
Oh, man. Yes.
Yeah. And then I get some tomato soup up, all that good stuff. I go out, I'm passionate about my grilled cheese sandwiches.
I love it, man.
I haven't had one for a while. Get some nice bread on there. Raylo Normie, you could keep everything in that scene minus the yelling. It would be accurate. Stoic and calm anger would be more compelling. I hate this whiny shit. Jay, do you think that Superman was stoic and calm in Superman 4?
The Quest for Peace?
Was Superman 4 the one where he reverses the entire fucking changes time after Lois dies or whatever?
That's the first one.
That is the first one where he turns back time?
Yeah. Lex Luthor's bomb
hits
California, and it goes so he reverses time. And actually, in the Dahmer cut, right?
That's 2.
He actually does that in the Dahmer cut in 2, but it's not in the official release in 2. So he does it again, if I remember correctly. So yeah, I think that's what happens.
I think before I watch Superman, I should sit down and watch 1 through 4 because it's been a very long time since I've watched them.
The Quest for Peace was Lex Luthor. He had an annoying cousin or somebody that was like really retarded. and he takes a Superman's hair and uses his DNA to create like Nuclear Man. And so he has like the same powers as Superman, but Superman, spoiler alert, he just literally throws Nuclear Man into a nuclear power plant, and it like they just show like all the lights come on, like all of America. Like that's all he did to beat him. He just like he just threw him into a nuclear power plant. It killed him.
I do think it would be funny if we got to see the Dahmer cut of Superman. I wonder what that would be. Probably just Superman murdering gay people and eating them.
Yeah, this would be weird.
But
I like the Richard Pryor Superman. I thought that was funny. Had a great scene of like Clark Kent versus Superman when he had the bad kryptonite. He had to fight the mega computer virus at the end. It was a pretty bad film.
I should, because it's been so long since I've watched the original ones, probably 10 years or something. I should do a rewatch of all four Supermans.
I think the first two are really good. I think the first two, I like General Zod and all that. You know, I liked it. I should do it too. I should rewatch them as well. Would you go into Man of Steel and everything, or those are still pretty fresh in your mind? So
I've watched Man of Steel pretty fucking recently, and all that stuff. It's been a long ass time since I watched Superman Returns, to be honest. Like
it's been forever since I watched that film.
When did that come out? Like 2005?
Wow, yeah.
2004?
I haven't seen that in a minute. Kevin Spacey as
2006. 2006 is when it came out.
Who the heck? Kevin Spacey was in that film. He played
Luthor.
That's right. He did. That's right. He did play Luthor. Okay, that's right. He played Lex Luthor. And the whole plot of that movie was he was trying to create land.
Yeah, it was all about beachfront property. Baby.
Yeah. He was trying to create land. That's what it was. And they found out Superman's kid, when he gets angry, he gets super strength. Like shoved that piano up against. That's what I remember.
Yeah, all right, where am I? I met Steve Burns a couple years ago at NYCC, and he was surprised about my Power Rangers cosplay. I let him hold my helmet, says Crispy Noken.
Oh,
there you go. Gilva Sunner for 5. Emily Blunt, Keanu Reeves, Ryan Gosling, Jason Statham, Anya Taylor-Joy, Idris Elba, Tom Hardy, and Henry Cavill. All actors that sell tickets for me. Well, there you go. Thank you, Gilva. Anthony Landolfini, the Furious Time Hollywood was only going to have WWE stars to do movies and TV shows because Hollywood is dying because WWE superstars don't push a political agenda. Maybe. I don't know. Everything will just be John Cena. Sola Felix, John Cryer, TDS Crybaby, was Lex Luthor's relation. John Cryer is annoying as fuck, to be honest. But yes, I see stories about him fucking spouting off all the fucking time. All right. We got to talk about Pixar a little bit, Jay.
Okay.
Make sure all my tabs are open. Get the fuck out of here. I don't want this shit. Well, let's close that then. Fuck it. We don't need it. We got to talk about Pixar. Because apparently, as much as we've been talking about the death of Pixar and what's going on at Pixar and how they've been failing and flopping and they can't make original shit, they internally know that exact same thing as well, apparently. Elio flops with worst opening weekend ever for a Pixar movie. And yes, we are talking about not even adjusting for inflation or anything like that. We're talking about the worst opening that Pixar's ever seen in its 30-year history. $21 million on its opening weekend. Hasn't exactly been fantastic after that either. I think it had 35 million total in its worldwide opening weekend. Very bad. And obviously, the scrutiny that Pixar has been under is even more fresh right now because this just happened. The spotlight on Pixar intensifies as Elio becomes latest original animated pick to crash land. Even before the film opened to a record low, Pixar was in the midst of a course correction to balance its lineup with a mix of unknown characters and established IPs. And I thought it was interesting what you heard, I think the CCO, Pete Docter of Pixar, say. And it's interesting to hear them acknowledge this stuff while also talking about some of the realities of the situation. Pixar veteran Pete Docter has discussed the company's current struggles when trying to create new films and franchises, as current release Elio faces an uphill battle at the box office. Stressing that Pixar needed to find out what people know or what people want before they know it, Docter said the alternative was just feeding audiences more of what they know, leading to endless sequels and more of the same. We'd be making Toy Story 27, Docter said, speaking at Fast Company's Most Innovative Companies Summit shortly before the studio's new film opened. And he says this: it's a rough time, and all we can do is try to make movies that I think are led by us. We have to believe in them. It takes as much work and effort to make something that doesn't make money as it does for something that does. And you can't plan this. Sometimes you just hit little combinations of things. And he is right that they have to continue to try to do new stuff. Otherwise, you're just going to be making Toy Story 27. But this has been the struggle for them because they can't do that, right? They cannot make originals anymore that people accept and that people like. I think a large part of that is the talent that they vanished from Pixar. Long experienced people had been there a long time, that they ran out so they could make sure to check a bunch of boxes. And that resulted in a lot of people who have no idea what they're doing and stories that they want to tell that only represent their story and not what most people want to see.
100% agree. Most of these companies in Hollywood think the majority of people are just dumb, and no matter what they make, that people will just shovel it down. But that's not the case anymore. We have lost faith in Hollywood in all, in what anything new that they want to make. There's just been too much weird progressive stuff that was injected just in Hollywood, not saying Pixar, but just in Hollywood. So people are like, it's hard to trust new things that they're coming out with. So we just don't want to see it. But in this film right here, we showed a few days ago that even the so-called Disney adults were trashing this film on Twitter, saying like, this is just a bad film. Where one of them was like, I almost walked out because it was so boring. They didn't like it. So how do they expect people to want to watch and enjoy new stuff when it sucks, right? And then it's like, now we live in this time where I don't trust Hollywood. It's expensive to go. I'm not spending my money on something that's going to be stupid or message or whatever. So I'll just wait for it to come out on streaming. I think is what we're seeing. So yeah, I agree with you. They chased out the old guard that was very creative, and they need to find that again, because that nostalgia button won't last forever. To constantly keep making Toy Story 7, 8, 9, 10, it just won't. If that's what they feel like they're stuck doing, it just won't last forever.
And, they did in this say, look, we're committed, like, we're trying to be like, hey, if we release one original, if we release one sequel or whatever, we want to release one original too. And they do have some in the works. Looking ahead, Pixar's future slate is, as Docter suggests, a mix of original ideas and sequels, as well as Toy Story 5.
Yeah.
Next year also brings human-animal body swap comedy Hoppers, while feline-focused Gatto debuts in 2027. Those are followed by Incredibles 3 and Coco 2. Bro, I love Coco. And I don't know how I feel about a Coco 2. I don't know how I feel about that.
You make a good film, people go see it. I don't know, but they seem to have a problem with that. Coco 2. The dead come alive again.
Well, they don't come alive.
I know. I was just throwing something out there. Speaking of, all right, hold on. I know we're running out of time. I really wanted to get this in. I forgot to mention it earlier. I just want to get your thoughts real quick. This was just announced yesterday. Universal Studios has decided that Chicago is the next location for an all-year Halloween Horror Nights. They haven't said when it's going to be open or release dates or anything like that. They just made the initial announcement that they have picked the next city of all places, Chicago, where they're going to have a place where it's going to be a bar. It's going to feature 4 different haunted houses that will mix They'll change it up, like seasonally and things like that, where people can visit. I don't know where in Chicago they would put this, because the latest one that's going to open in August is in Vegas. So it's like right on the Strip area. So yeah, a lot of people walking could attract a lot of people and a lot of business. Chicago, I'm just kind of like, you know more about Chicago than I do, Ryan. Is there a place for this? Do you think this will be successful for Universal Studios to have a, there's some places in Chicago that's already pretty horrible. So I don't know if
I mean, like, Chicago is very different areas. Look, if you want to walk on the south side, you're basically going to get Halloween Horror Nights, period. If you go out for a walk, you might see a bunch of homeless crackheads and be dodging bullets. That's horrific enough. However, like, if you go and put this thing by some of the big shops, and you like on Michigan Ave or like places around that, you could 100% do it in a place that it could attract a lot of attention and business. Is probably a good place for it. I don't know, but yeah, it's the first I've heard of is when you just pulled it up. So
yeah, so I guess we'll keep an eye on it when they get some release dates and exactly what they're going to be planning. But it said it's going to be pretty similar to the one in Vegas. The one in Vegas has like a waiting bar area if it's crowded while they're taking groups to the different haunted houses. We can get like specialty drinks and things like that. And this is not the last one. They want to have a couple of these all over America in different cities. So I don't know what's next, but Chicago seems to be on the list. So I wonder, I don't know if people are excited about this. Do they even care? But Halloween Horror Nights is massive here in Orlando, and they're hoping for the same type of excitement and probably money-making revenue over in Vegas. And so if these things are that popular, maybe Chicago and coming to a city near you, or even in like Valentine's Day, you can go to a haunted house. I guess we'll see. Like, they're starting Halloween Horror Nights in August this year. Yeah, August to November. So pretty crazy.
Pretty crazy.
Thank you, Ryan. I know I was kind of a late entry.
Cosmic Thunder for 5. Unpopular opinion. All the original Superman films are bad. People only like them because they're nostalgic and the score is good. That is an unpopular opinion. Mike Zero's source for 5. Any thoughts about a Blue Falcon live action film?
No.
A Blue Falcon? I don't know. But a buddy fucker live action film. Tobias Nexus. You don't need to watch Superman Returns if you watch the first one. Practically the same film with different actors. Even have the same scenes, line for line. SSJ Lalo. Hail the S tier team. Check out Epic Mike on FNT later today. Epic Mike's on FNT.
Hey, he made it.
Bro, how did that happen? I didn't even know that. Also, Power Ranger Megazord are better than Transformers.
Oof.
I
respect your opinion.
Doge says bring back John Lasseter. They ran him out of there. He didn't even bite anybody. Make sure I'm caught up on. We're caught up on Rumble. We're caught up on locals. And Black Cane. Jay makes his grilled cheese at night. Is that true?
I'll make it any time of the day.
There you go. All right. And we're all caught up. Jay, what do you got going on this weekend?
That's it. Just going to keep making videos. And probably doing more park hopping streams. We did one last night. It was really awesome, right? From Universal Studios. So I appreciate everybody coming and checking them out. So that's what's happening. So it's happening this weekend. And hopefully I get my windshield fixed. They haven't called and it's 12 o'clock.
Looking a little cloudy out there.
I know. I'm a little nervous. I do have a blue tarp.
Yeah. Why are all tarps blue?
Why is that? I don't know. That's a good question.
I mean, they're not all, but that is the general, like, hey, I need to go and get a fucking tarp. I'm gonna go camping. I need to go get a tarp.
Extension cords are orange, tarps are blue.
But that's it for us, guys. Thanks for hanging out. I'll see you on FNT apparently with Epic Mike. And we will talk to you later. Bye, everybody.